People often ask me, how do I get my guitars to sound so good? And my answer is usually, I make sure they're in tune. Now that would seem like a pretty easy thing to do. We got tuners and all that sort of thing, but it's not as simple as just plugging it up and tuning the open strings. You see, a guitar, by its very nature, is just a pretty inaccurate instrument. No matter how well made your guitar is and how well you've got the intonation set up, there's still going to be some sections on the neck where it's just not going to be as in tune as in other sections. Usually when people come in the studio, I see them do this thing where they go, I'm going to tune my guitar, and they go, you know, they get each string in tune. And they go, okay, all right, I'm in tune. Right? So, okay, I'm in tune, right? Not necessarily so. Let's say you're going to play a D chord, and I know I'm picking that one because I know on this guitar, I know it's never going to be in tune. Just it's the nature of this particular guitar. So if I hit a D chord, not quite right. You know, most of those are pretty good, but it's this B string on the 3rd fret. Now if I hit the 2nd fret, that's a little sharp. Hold on. If I hit here, 4th fret's pretty good. 5th fret's pretty good. I can bring down a little bit. 3rd fret always plays a little sharp as opposed to the open string. So let's say I need to play a bunch of D chords and say a G chord, D to G. It's not going to sound good if I'm just tuning to the open string. So what I'll do is what I do in the studio. I'll tune for the chord. So I'm going to go to that B. I'm going to tune it down a little bit. So it sounds good when I hit on the string on the fret that I'm going to play in the song. So now, A is a little sharp. And I did set the intonation on this thing. It's actually the most accurate this guitar's ever been, but it's going to be a little sharp here. So I tune it a little flat. Sounds better. If I'm going to do a G. Now I did tune that G string slightly flat to make the D sound good, but I've found that having something, if something's going to be a little out of tune, probably best it be a little flat and then a little sharp, because on the guitar, what you're usually doing is trying to average out across everything. Just tuning the open strings is just the first step. You got to go through and dig in a little bit more for the song that you're recording. I get a little obsessive about this crap. There we go. Now if we look at the open strings now, check it out. That's definitely flat. That's flat. But I'm not playing those open strings. I only need to tune what I'm playing in the song that it's being recorded. So if I'm playing a bunch of chords up in this section here, I want to tune to those notes. The hell with tuning the open strings, that's not where I'm playing. So I'm going to tune it up here. Now this guitar's pretty close. Oh, shit. There you go. Just much more in tune. And you know how it is with distortion. It always seems if you're out of tune, the distortion makes it worse. And the other thing to consider is when you're tuning your guitar, make sure you're plucking the notes at the same volume as you're going to be doing when you're playing. So I see a lot of people when they're tuning their guitar, they're kind of like just barely hitting the strings. Like, oh, I'm in tune. But the reality of it is if you hit it harder, it's going to go a little sharp. Make sure you're hitting it at the same volume as you're going to be doing when you're playing. Well, that's it for this micro lesson. I hope you got something from it. Make sure to subscribe and come back and see some more of my videos later. Take it easy.